as many of you already know, they contact me via email and whatever, and I charge for the diet like $5,000. So you can just imagine, you know, it costs them a lot of money to bring us here. Whatever you guys have on your mind, of course, nothing crazy, you know, because I can't help you with your wife or whatever. But anything have to do with bodybuilders, we're more than happy to answer it. Not true. Not true. You got to understand, people, they need to get rid of that concept they have in their head. Oh, you can't eat and go to sleep. You can't have carb at night. This is bull crap. Okay, I don't know who put it out there. I don't know about that keto diet, whatever these people talking about. Because to be quite frankly honest with you, I don't see anybody on the keto diet on the Olympia stage. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why people thinking that carbs is your enemy. It's the opposite. Carbs is your friend. You know, carbs is what made Arnold, Lee Haney. I mean, you know, I'm sure you heard it with me before. I was doing a seminar in Atlanta, and Mr. Haney was sitting next to me, and some guy asked me, hey, what about carb this at night and stuff? And Mr. Haney, he goes, can I answer? I'm like, of course, I'm going to tell 8-time Mr. Olympia. He said, you know why George, you know, the stuff work? Because I did it. Rich Gaspari did it. Lila Brada did it. You know, I'm like, but seriously, don't be afraid. The calorie consumption is about how you eat, you know, and what to eat. Of course, you're not going to eat pizza and go back to sleep and you say, well, George said, you know, I can, no. But, you know, if you eat your chicken and steamed rice and broccoli and go back to sleep, I guarantee you nothing's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, if you want to increase your GH level, you know, your RPM, when you really get like good enough sleep, RRM, I'm talking RPM. So what you need to do is have, you know, a longer period of sleep. And that's what you really want to rely like on protein and stuff before you go to bed. So your GH level output can be higher and stuff. That's when you want to stay away from carbs. But, you know, this is only really happen if you're getting ready for a show, when you're doing a pre-contest. But for everyday average, listen, you guys, trust me, have your carb and go to sleep, nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean?
The girl that was training with Kai Green was squatting like 400 pounds. You know, that's 4 plates to us, the 4 plates aside. And, you know, and that's amazing. And I see the girls are pushing hard, but I just wanted to know what you say about it. Do girls train like me?
Good question. You know, the bottom line is, what do you want to do? You know, see, the problem with a lot of women, they come up to me and they said, well, I don't want to get big. Honey, believe me, you're not going to get big. Okay? So, we're taking every vitamins or whatever protein on the planet just to get like a couple pounds heavier. So they think, oh, if I push heavy, oh, I don't know, my husband don't like my legs bigger. Well, you're crazy. So what you need to do, you really got to train as hard as you can if you're a woman. Because you guys not blessed with testosterone. So don't start looking, you know, the bodybuilding women I'm helping for the Olympia and stuff. Well, these guys take testosterone. You take testosterone, you look like a guy. It's simple. Your muscles grow like a guy. And I'm not taking anything from these girls. Remember, this is what they chose, and they work hard. Believe me when I tell you, and I give them like mad respect but that's what they want to do. So I don't want the average, you know, wife or somebody's girlfriend, oh my God, I don't want to look like this. Believe me, honey, you're never going to look like this, you know. Work out hard, eat smart, push as hard as you can. Train with your boyfriend, with your man, whatever. Push hard, don't be afraid. The harder you train, the toner you're going to look, the smaller you're going to look, believe it or not.
I know a lot of guys here are 60, 70 kgs, taking 2 scoops, which is 50 grams, 3 times a day. And it doesn't matter what I tell them, they only want to listen to George. So I thought I'd put the question to you so you can tell them how much protein, even though individual requirements are definitely going to vary.
Are you talking protein powder or protein, you know?
Both, but mainly protein powder.
Okay, the good thing is you got to remember, protein companies now, they're phenomenal. I mean, they're making, the protein is so highly biologically available, so it's amazing. It's better than a lot of the food, believe it or not, you know, the way your body and muscle absorb it. So if your question about it's okay to use powder versus, you know, regular meal, it's no big deal. You know, they're both the same. They're going to work out about the same, but I'm sure if you're dieting and if you're bodybuilder and you're hardworking, you don't want to just like drink something because it's not gonna fill you up, you're gonna be starving. I mean, my God, I give these guys so much food and they're still starving. So imagine with liquid, it's not gonna work. But if you're saying the amount of protein that people, you know, have misconception, they really overdoing it. You know, I mean, I was actually in the country in the Middle East, and it's amazing. It's epidemic how many kidney problems they're having, and young bodybuilders, because they think the more protein, the better it is. I mean, I'm talking Olympian, Mr. Kai Green. I met him, you know. I said, what do you mean you gotta have 1,000 grams of protein? There's no way. I said, I don't know who taught you this, but let's kill him. You know. So anyway, you know, to be honest with you, he'll tell you. I mean, you guys saw him. He's close to 300 pounds with serratus on him. You know, I mean, what do we? How many ounces do you eat? Tell him. Eight ounces at each meal. That big of a man. You know what I mean? 250 grams a day. You know. 300 maximum maybe, but I mean, you guys need to understand, believe me, carbohydrate is your best friend if you're a bodybuilder. Don't be afraid of carb, but don't start eating carb and, you know, like, it's very important as a human to keep your insulin level, you know, stable. You don't want your insulin to spike, so always make sure you have protein, carbs, some vegetables, you know, to keep your insulin, because insulin is the most important hormone in the human body. And if that's out of whack, you start having so many different problems. Most prep guys, what they do, and I'm sure you guys went into the same thing. They look at you, okay, let me look at you next week. They look at you like, oh man, you know, you're still having water. Okay, let's drop your carb a little more and add more protein and do more cardio. Well, you're looking for trouble, because the more protein you're eating, the more you're stressing your body, the more you're holding water. Now the more cardio you're doing, you're even adding more stress to your body. Now you're holding more water. And then you come next week, you're like, oh my God, no, dude, let's do 2 hours of cardio. Let's up your protein, take the carb completely out. I mean, I'm seeing it over and over. And finally, they call me. If you guys don't believe me, look at actually Flex magazine about 3 years ago, Dennis James, you know. Me and DJ, we started working, and he had 6 weeks. He said, George, man, I'm not losing weight. I'm doing that much cardio, this and that. I said, okay, Dennis, don't worry. Send me what you're doing. So he did send it to me. I replied to him, and I swear to you, this is no joke. Dennis called me, he said, George, I said, I have 6 weeks, not 6 months, man. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, all this carb and only 20 minutes of cardio, you're crazy. I said, Dennis, just do me a favor, call me next week. Do this and call me next week. You guys not gonna believe it. I dropped him from like, I don't know, I think hour and a half or 2 hours of cardio. He's having practically no carb, you know, and to have him 400 grams of carb, 20 or 25 minutes of cardio, I don't recall exactly, but it's still in the article, you can go read it online. He calls me, he goes, I can't believe it. I said, why? He goes, dude, I lost 7 pounds. How this is possible? I said, okay. And that's how he started working with me. That's how he won a couple shows, you know. So it's really common sense, you guys. Don't overdo things. Don't like, you know, you need, not me, not Mo, not nobody is gonna know your body as much as you. So don't let people confuse you. Find somebody who have a good pair of eyes and let them look at you and make those little changes, but don't do anything drastic. You know, if you do anything drastic, something is really wrong. I said it before and I'll say it again. If you want to do 2 and 3 hours of cardio, you're not a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? Where's the rest of your day? My God, I wish I have an extra 2 hours. I'll be multi-millionaire, you know? So you guys just common sense, nice and easy, don't overdo anything.